Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it? You already know. Like a motherfucking smack at it. Bye up. Bye up. In a menudo style in direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button and put your notifications on all. I'm very humbled. We're back. Thank you guys. And Hatersworld, is this the end? Is it over? Has the hate come to an end? Or is it just beginning? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, man, Wack 100 dominated Blue Devil. Dominated him to the point that I haven't seen anything like that since my youth authority days, since when I was in CYA. What Wack did right there was he let all the YA baby come out of him, and he threw a fuck. Now, let me explain to you what a fuck is, right? You know, when we're in the youth authority, if someone stole out of your locker, if someone wanted to disrespect you for whatever reason, they would throw a fuck, right? And that means they would disrespect your family, your dead homies, your neighborhood. And usually, right off the top, it crack. Get off where you're mad at, on site. And it kept going because once that guy said that fuck, that means he didn't take it back. There was no takebacks. Okay, this wasn't elementary school. This was every time on site, get off where you're mad at, because this guy just did the ultimate. I mean, it's the ultimate. You know, when you're gangbanging, when you're living that life, all you have is your word, your barrio, your integrity, what you claim. And if you're on social media proclaiming you're some type of badass, you're representing the hood, you're representing something bigger than you, and you're looked at as that one or that podcast that basically puts that out there, and then you let someone like Wack 100 come along and just tear you up, is there any get backs from that? Now, I seen yesterday Blue Devil went live, and he was quieter than a church house mouse in the corner. That vato was twiddling his thumbs. His thumbs are raw this morning. I'm wondering, how did Blue Devil sleep last night? Was it on his conscience? Was his heart hurt? Because I understand, man, that he got put in a situation that, man, there's hardly any getting backs. You know, there's only one way to get back, and I know he's not trying to go there. Hopefully he's not trying to go there. But Wack 100 dominated him. What did Dub say in his video yesterday? That Wack 100 was playing chess while Vatos were playing fucking shuffleboard. I actually think Wack 100 was playing chess and Vatos were playing hacky sack, trying to kick around the question or the answer, because at the end of the day, when I did my video yesterday, I had just seen the live that Blue Devil had done with Wack 100 when Wack 100 sat in there and was accusing Southsiders of being rats, was just saying different things. And shout out to Droops. He held it down. He definitely held it down, man. His responses were on point. And he didn't take the slights or the disses kindly. He quickly shut Wack down on a whole lot of subjects after going back and really watching it tough. Droops held his own. But I could only imagine how Droops is feeling today as well after what happened later on. So for those of you that don't know, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen, everyone's putting videos out on it. This is just my personal take on it, my perspective, because it's an ugly situation, you know. When you've hated on Mexicanos, your own people, for so long, you know, and you've showed the Africano community, the blacks, a lot of love for whatever your reasons may be, it's funny and hilarious to me that the same thing that you love come and bite you back in your nalga. Nalgas and NyQuil, nalgas and NyQuil, bit you in your ass, and now you're trying to go to sleep. You know, that's the rockabye baby. That's karma. That's the world. That's energy. You see, Blue Devil has a history of going in on his own gente, his own brown people, and has a whole lot of history in defense of brothers, man, which ain't nothing wrong with that. I fuck with a lot of black dudes, man. I got a lot of love, black and brown. Doesn't matter to me. Skin color doesn't matter. It's the integrity and the morals of the man, right? How a man carries himself, the respect he gives you is the respect he's going to get back. All that other shit don't mean nothing to me. You could be darker or lighter. Has no bearings on how I think. You know, but I've seen plenty of times, and I'm not trying to sound racial, I'm just being real. This is what I do, no added preservatives. Here's some knowledge you can't get in college. I've seen plenty of times that Blue Devil himself has thrown Mexicanos, brown men, under the bus. We can start with Gold Toes, man. Northern California representative, you know, the producer, GT Digital, The man that's been doing this before even Blue Devil was born has been in the game. You know, he went to Southern California with open arms, with blessings, with nothing but respect and love for the Southern car, man, and trying to hook people up and put people on and put people in the lane, man, to make money, to get a bag. And immediately Blue Devil used his platform, Hatersworld, to slander, to defecate on fucking Gold Toes' character, and to make up lies and put out there that Gold Toes was trying to take over Southern California, that this one man who was actually trying to help the gente unite, actually trying to help the gente get a bag, that he was coming in to play the Southsiders, to burn them, to get over on them. And of course, that was quickly debunked. But at the end of the day, that type of haterism is for the birds, not the huelgas, right? That shit was... Ray Charles seen through that shit. Stevie, well, I don't know if Stevie Wonder could see or not. Shaq says he can, right? But even Stevie Wonder seen that. That was a situation where somebody's bias and somebody's unknowing of a person could fuck a good thing up. He ruined a lot of people's bags, all because he thought he was going to gain brownie points. I'm speaking about Blue Devil shitting on the North. There's been constant times that he's disrespected Norteños or the Northern cause or whatever, and has never been in prison, has never programmed or functioned around Norteños. I don't even know if he's really been around one in real life, but sure doesn't like them for whatever reason. Here's a news flash, man. That ain't the Southsider way. The Southsider way is built upon respect and motherfucking treachery and viciousness. When I say treachery, they're treacherous to everybody, man, that fucks with them, you know? That's just how that is. But for whatever reason, Blue Devil feels that he uses his fucking podcast as to influence people. And so he influenced people against Gold Toes in the negative. The second time that I see him go against the raza, I mean, he goes against Swifty Blue. He goes against a lot of brown people for whatever his reasons are, right? Whether he don't like him or not. Another time I watched him with my own eyes play Cholo Juan out and set Cholo Juan up on the podcast with Snowman, the whole Snowman incident. Come to find out, this Vato Snowman, it was already predetermined, this phone call. Snowman happens to be the primo of Blue Devil. So when Blue Devil was going to take a fight, or was supposed to be taking a fight with Cholo Juan pulled up in a Chalucas fashion. That fool pulled up down for whatever. Ready to throw those hands, ready to converse or whatever. However it was going to play out, the Vato pulled up on his lonesome, by himself. Lonesome dove, right? And of course, Blue Devil didn't want to see him on that level. All that. And hooked up this phone call, and Snowman calls in, and we already know how that ended up. Snowman fucking started going in on Cholo Juan over a red paño that he wears and whatever, man. It made it a color, started color banging. This ain't fucking the movie Colors. You know, you ain't Pac-Man. So it went like that. And of course, Blue Devil sat there quiet in the corner like a church house mouse. He didn't shut the podcast down when Cholo Juan asked him several times, hey, bro, let's end this conversation. I ain't trying to have this. I ain't trying to do this, woofing with another homie back and forth. You know, because it actually does make the South Side look horrible, man, when you see two Vatos from the same side arguing over nothingness, right? But of course, that was another incident that Blue Devil instigated against the raza. And then another one was the Norby's incident with American Cholo, the alleged assault that happened or fight or whatever it was. I don't know who did it at the end of the day. I just know a lot of people talked about it. And I seen Blue Devil run to the internet talking about he was the one that clipped it. He's the one that set that in motion. He's the one that fucking made that shit happen. He tried to get all the blacks to get on Norby's head because Norby's made a statement saying monkeys or some shit like that. I don't even know if he was talking about brothers or like that, man. He was talking about a circus. He was talking about how people are treated in the office. And this Vato Blue Devil flipped it, tried to get all the blacks to get on the raza. Come on now, man. When are you going to have some fucking pride in your people? You know, I understand your haters' world, but man, your world is filled with hate for your own kind. So now it's hilarious that it doubles back and it bites him in his fucking nalga to NyQuil, right? What happens? He invites fucking Wack 100, one of the most notorious brothers on the internet, someone who's smooth, cold, and calculated. Someone who already has you in his pocket before he even gets there. And best believe Wack 100 can say he didn't know where he was pulling up. He can say, hey, I'm just trying to defend my name. I'm not racist to the raza, whatever, Wack 100, the story and the spin he put on it. But the fact is, that Vato pulled up knowing exactly what he was going to do. He was going to take subliminals, belittle the raza here, little there, man, and see and test the waters and see what motherfuckers were talking about. Case in point is this. Wack 100 talked about, and this one stood out to me and I laughed like a motherfucker because I did a lot of time in YA, almost 7 years, right? So there's nothing anyone on the internet, nobody can tell me about the Youth Authority. I don't know, especially in the 90s when it was very dangerous. I was there with Wack 100 in 1992, Fred C. Nellis. He was on Adam Cottage. Ask him if he was on Adams, right? That's a fact. I was on Madison, Kennedy, Cleveland, Truman. I was at Nellis, right? As a Norteño functioning. And when I seen that podcast, Wack 100 mentioned, and he was just testing the waters. It was only a test. He knows this shit never happened. He said, y'all know about Friday nights, whatever, some shenanigan they did on Friday. We didn't do shit on Friday, but time, right? But Friday nights when the Southsiders or the Mexicans acted like blacks and the blacks acted like Mexicans, a bullshit. That would never, ever, ever happen. Not to say that blacks and browns didn't fucking converse and be cool and play basketball at times and all that. Yes, it happened. But it was so racial. There was so much racial tension and segregation in the Youth Authority, man. Nobody was doing that. If a Southsider would try to act black or was even sagging, he would have got checked by his homies immediately. If a black dude was trying to act Mexican, the brothers would be like, damn, black, right? On Paru. Or what's up, cuz? You know what I mean? I'm telling you, that never happened. Wack put that out there just to see if these guys had the YA mentality. And when they agreed, yeah, he was like, I just made that shit up on the fly. That shit never happened. That right there is the way Wack plays, man. He's a master manipulator. And that was an old Folsom setup. It was then and right then that Wack 100 started to take over and dominate that podcast and basically try to throw Mexicans and Southsiders under the bus. Facts, right? So the next day after, Blue Devil brings him on his podcast for whatever, Blue Devil decided, I guess, for whatever reason to go pay him back and go on his little clubhouse that he has, the Yelling Over Each Other club, right? And it went all bad. It went ugly, right? Because Wack 100 already knew what he was going to say about this guy. And when Blue Devil jumped in, he didn't expect it. He got bamboozled. He got confuzzled, right? He got sparkled. What happened was Wack 100 slowly got him into a conversation that Blue Devil could not win. And he flipped a switch and turned YA baby on him. And Blue Devil's never been in the Youth Authority. He's never been in prison. So he'll never understand the YA mentality or the prison mentality, the master manipulation mentality. He might understand how to hate on people, how to fucking edit videos, how to trick people into being in one place when they don't want to be there, right? He might be able to do all that. But when it comes to the prison and YA mentality, he's way below average, right? He don't understand. You're fucking with dudes that are well-versed in flipping your whole mind. I've seen dudes turn motherfuckers out. I've seen dudes do a lot of shit. So you can't, in your mind, unless you're a very intelligent individual, when you're in the street game and you're trying to play prison games or talk prison politics, you ain't going to do it with the master politician. It just doesn't happen. These are facts that I'm speaking right here, right? And Wack 100 went off, turned YA baby and threw all kinds of fucks. He disrespected this man's family, this man's homeboys, his barrio. He literally asked him what barrio he was from, baiting him so that he could say his barrio, and 2 minutes later blew his barrio up. And instead of Blue Devil saying, hey, hold up, man. As soon as that dude was like, fuck your body, fuck this, that, he should have been like, hey, bro, I'm done with this. You know where I'm at? Come find me or I'll find you. Period. You've now disrespected everything that I believe in. My whole get down in the beginning was I'm a Southsider from Hatersworld, all this. He disrespected all that, bro. Unfortunately, right? Another one just disrespecting. And his Vato just took it and he just choked. He choked, homie. He choked worse than fucking worse than Tony Romo fucking at the goal line. This Vato choked like a motherfucker, right? And instead of saying, he didn't even address it when the Vato was asking, did you call me a rat? Because what happened was Wack 100 heard, I guess, that this guy had called him a rat, called him Officer 100, which he's done plenty of times. I've seen plenty of videos where he's disrespected Wack 100, right? No big deal. I've called him fucking some shit too. But if he asked me, have you ever called me a rat? I'll say, yup. Have you ever called me one? You know what I mean? It's just what it is. I ain't got nothing to hide. But this guy when he was asked a question, he wouldn't answer it. Well, I'm going to have to go back and read the paperwork. You're not in prison, Bob. So you're not reading paperwork. You called the fucker a rat. He asked you if you called him one. Why don't you be a man and say, yeah, and stand on your 10. Stand on your word. This is an ugly look for Hatersworld. Is he going to lose his podcast? A lot of people fell off, man. I did a live last night, myself and Dubs. We had over 600 people in the live. Nobody was in defense of this dude. They were going in. It was kind of an ugly situation. The hairs on the back of my neck were standing up. I felt bad, Holmes. I was like, damn. This Vato let Wack 100 play him. He played you. Boop, 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 boop. And the winner was. And instead of defending himself and saying, hey, man, fuck your neighborhood or fuck you, right? Shout out to, you know what I'm saying? But Koima, you already know, man, I fuck with some OGs right there from Wack's neighborhood that don't fuck with Wack, right? Facts. And instead of fucking clapping back, you know, when Wack 100's like, we're going to mount up. We're going to go over there right now. This Vato, give me a chance to read the paperwork first. Nah, fuck that. Mount up, mount up. Motherfucker, we're going to mount up too. Then all that happens. It's whatever, man. The Vato fucking, like I said, he got confuzzled. He choked. He didn't know what to do because he's never been put in a situation like that where a Vato's fucking screaming at him, yelling at him. And that's what Wack does. The yell over each other club. He'll intimidate people by a loud voice. And Wack was so heated and so frustrated. And that was genuine. He was genuinely frustrated. He was pissed, right? Now, would a Wack pulled up and did all that? I don't think so. Wack's smart enough to understand that law enforcement watches these things. So, you know, he ain't going to put himself on blast. At the end of the day, he's a millionaire that's making moves. He ain't trying to do all that. You know, but I'm sure Blue Devil didn't sleep comfortably last night. I'm sure, man, it was eating at him like, why'd I ever bring that dude on my podcast in the first place? Clout is a hell of a drug, man. And when you snort it and sniff it, guess what? When the high runs out, you feel like shit. So I guess you feel like shit now, huh? What elevates you, deflates you. Will Hatersworld, will this be the demise? I don't think so. I think for the next few days, he's going to get a lot of views on his channel, whatever, because people are going to want to see what he's got to say. And then after a while, it's going to fizzle pop. It'll fizzle out. And a lot of the people, a lot of the support that he had that actually fucked with him, there's no way to double back on it. They already seen. They seen what it was. You know, I'm sure people were calling like, damn, bro. What the fuck? Why you let the Vato, hey, why you let the Vato get at you like that? ¿Qué traes, homie? Right now, hey, look, he got at you. The way he got at you, and it's too late now. And that wasn't even addressed last night, really. Besides that, when Wack 100 pulled up, he came with 30 black dudes and this, and that. Now, that kept getting emphasized, 30. He was with 30 people, like to make it look like, oh, there was way more of them. That's why. No, look, at the end of the day, I've been on yards as a northerner, man, with 50, 60 Southsiders, only 2, 3 northerners. We kept our head up high. I've seen yards, man, where there's 5, 6 Southsiders and 30 blacks on the yard in the youth authority, and they kept their head up high. Why is your head down? That's the question. With that being said, man, do I think this is the end of Hatersworld? I don't. But I think it's an ugly, ugly look. What do you think? Do you agree or do you disagree? And again, I'm not getting in Southsiders business. I'm getting in internet business, right? And all that, this is just the internet. This is just the internet. Fuck all that, bro. You know, that motherfucker said, fuck everything that you do. That's different, bro. I wouldn't even go there. I would never go there. Wack did, though. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. That Vato was sucking his thumb last night. That Vato did not sleep comfortably. What happens next?